Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bethany. Doing a general love and relationship reading. Let's start with the astrology, the astrological influences. So I always pull cards from my Black Moon astrology. I pull them for myself every day, and that's kind of like how I get what I'm picking up on and what's affecting us. So the first card that came out, and these came out 2 days in a row. So just so you know, this is still, like, this is important. The ninth house, and I believe this one came out before. The ninth house is ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and expansion. And then the sign that rules Jupiter is Sagittarius, or that Jupiter is in. I don't know how to say that. But it says faith. It's about, it can represent religion, but more specifically like paganism, Wiccan, more like alternative religions, not like the traditional ones, which is why I see the Ouija board on there and like the palm reading. And but again, it's about luck and expansion, which is, you know, I feel like those types of religions or spiritual, I don't know, beliefs fall under that, like having more faith rather than following blindly we see with like Christianity, Catholicism and all of that. Judaism. So yeah, but it's about exploration, adventure. What else is I reading in there? It has a lot to do with like publishing and the written word as well. And then we have Aquarius. Love me some Aquarius energy. And it says, I know. So Aquarius is a fixed sign. And so they can be kind of stubborn in their views and kind of feel like what they see as the truth is the truth. And to be completely honest, I'm not just saying this because I'm an Aquarius, but because they're the humanitarians and they're the ones who are considered like the aliens who can kind of be objective and see things for what they really are. They are usually like the truth bearers, the ones who can see the dynamics of what's actually happening and what needs to happen in order for humanity to evolve. So this card, you know, it talks about groups of people because it's about being a humanitarian. So we're very much focused on what's good for the whole, not just what's good for the self. So it has to do with like groups of people and, you know, that, I don't know. Let's see what's playing into it. I don't know if I want to do tarot first, or I think I'm going to do tarot first. Just to see like, yeah, how this is affecting us in love and relationships. Again, love may show up, love may not show up. If love doesn't show up, like a specific love situation for you, then it's really pointing to something that you're healing or something for you to work on within yourself or within another relationship, be it work or family or friendship, in order to get you ready for your love relationship. So we don't want to think of anything as wasted when it comes to 2 5s came out together. We'll just start it with that. 5s represent change and transformation. 5s are not usually the most comfortable cards to experience. So their energies. Oh geez. Sorry, I'm just like noticing my hair. Then we have the star on the bottom, which is Aquarius energy. Aquarius. Yes, see, Aquarius is pushed for change, and humans don't like change. I mean, it's just we just don't. It's uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Me even being an Aquarius, I don't like it all the time, you know, certain types of change. Yeah. So, what was I saying? See, I do that to myself again. Good Lord. I interrupt myself and then I forget. Bulldoze myself. That's something I'm working on doing. It'll come back. But I think I was talking about humanitarianism or an Aquarius energy and groups of people. Can't remember now. Okay, let's go over these cards. 5 of Cups. This is about crying over spilled milk is the saying for this card. So looking at the past, seeing what didn't work out. It's about regret and could be about grieving. And then we have the Five of Swords, which is like mental conflict. And you'll see that like this person has two swords stuck in her back. So it's always kind of like you feel like it's happening to you. It's mental conflict. But like mind games too. Like it can be someone playing mind games with you, you know, but anything that we always feel like is happening to us by another person, not saying people cannot be victimized because that can happen. We also have to look at, what are we allowing? Like we always teach other people how to treat us in terms of when we're adults. When we're kids, I don't think we have as much control over it if we're being abused or victimized or whatever it is. But it doesn't mean we are the victims, right? And it may be difficult to get out of that if you were treated that way as a child, because it just depends. Oh, and we have the Two of Cups. It just depends. But we always have the chance to look at and to stand up for ourselves. And I get, again, as children, we don't really have the power necessarily when people are bigger than us and older than us and literally control where we live and eat and all of that. So I get that is more difficult to change, like circumstances when you're a child, but when you grow up, that's why it's so important to notice how you show up in relationships, and that it probably stems from childhood. And that's when it's like you realize, oh, like this person's treating me badly, but I'm allowing it, right? I'm not standing up for myself, or I'm not leaving this relationship, or I didn't have great boundaries. It's about realizing where you're doing that and taking your power back in that way. And it's not like you're trying to be the victim or trying to like fight back with this person. You're setting boundaries and not allowing it to happen anymore. So that's an important message, apparently. The Two of Cups is about love. So here, love is showing up. Every time I think love's not going to show up, it does. What do I know? They continuously prove to me that I think that I know and I don't. So they think it's funny. They like to mess with me. Anyways, it's about love, going on a date, sharing your cup with another person. But I feel like, I feel, and I want to get more, but that I think it's just saying what I said, like you're changing, you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing right now, whatever's comfortable, grieving the past, looking at what didn't work out, being reflective and it not feeling that great. And then the mind games, whether it's your own mind playing tricks on you or seeing how you were possibly, you had mental conflict because of how somebody else treated you. It's preparing you for love. It's whatever you're experiencing, because I feel like there is something happening. Depending on who you are and how sensitive you are and how deep into this work you are, this new moon was pretty intense, and it has been for me. Oh, that was one thing I was thinking about, was some symptoms that if you're new to this energy, or maybe not, or just need a reminder, during full moons, new moons, or just like any maybe major astrological event, they're called ascension symptoms, right? When you're experiencing a lot of change and growth and you're kind of leveling up in your life, we can sometimes have physical symptoms because of it, which is like either insomnia, lack of sleep, not being able to sleep, or being really tired, which I guess probably go hand in hand. Needing more, but it's like needing more sleep. I mean, like obviously if you're not sleeping, you're going to be more tired, but it could be like you feel like you did get enough, you get enough sleep, but you still just can't sleep enough. That's the difference. So it could be that, or just like not being able to sleep, and then it makes you more tired. You could get like cold or flu-like symptoms. Of course, make sure it's not the actual cold or flu, or you're not actually sick with something, but body aches and pains, just like and it's really like, it would be like out of nowhere, to where you can't really tie it back to anything, like, oh, I did this and that's why I have this. It's most likely just like it's like a growing pain, right? But it's like a spiritual or emotional growing pain. Those are ascension symptoms. So some like sore throat, like for me yesterday, I was like feeling like I had a lot of heartburn, but it was like, in this area was like my heart chakra, and I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just like my heart energy expanding and opening. So things like that, like if you have like a sore throat, or if you're clearing your throat a lot or coughing, it could be like your throat chakra clearing. If you have headaches, it could be like, if you have them here, it's like your third eye, your crown. We also have chakras in our ears, or energy centers in our ears. Yeah, so, and then just like other weird symptoms that you could probably tie back to different energy centers in your body that correlate with the chakras. So just know that if you're experiencing anything kind of weird and out of the norm, that you're just like, I don't know why I'm so tired, I don't know why I'm having so many headaches, it could be that astrological stuff affecting you, the moon, and ascension symptoms. So excuse me, and I'm clearing now, thank goodness. So we have more swords, the Page of Swords. This is about pause. Pages are never about action. It's like what happens before the action, because the Knights are about the action, and that comes after Pages. And this one specifically is about observation. So it's swords, so it's our minds, our thoughts, communication. It's about watching, waiting, observing. It's really about like looking at something before choosing to take action on it. And I think that's what is happening right now, this slowdown, because I know not the only person who's felt like this in terms of like just this energetic community that I have of people, who are in tune with energy, is that we're feeling like we're kind of being forced to sit still. And again, we're in retrograde. A lot of planets are in retrograde. Thank goodness Mercury is coming out of retrograde, I think on the 22nd. But it's like I have been feeling like I'm basically being forced to sit still. Nothing's happening, right? It's like nothing's coming in, nothing's going out. It's just literally stillness. But and it's uncomfortable. It's super uncomfortable for me. Like even doing what I do, it's still that I'm clearing and healing that for the collective in terms of being okay, being still, and not having anything happening, not knowing when anything's going to happen, not knowing who's going to be coming in, not knowing. Basically, it's literally being in a void space of anything is possible, and it's almost like being tested. Like, how are you going to handle this? Like, are you going to take advantage of the energy? Like, we're giving you the space to maybe be still, to heal, to look at this, to process. Or are you going to freak out? Are you going to allow yourself to get all fucked up in your head and tell yourself crazy stories and get stressed out? But it's like we're being called to see that everything has a purpose and everything happens for a reason. So if this is happening and you're like, well, but I thought I was going to be like, in a relationship, or I thought I was going to be like working on my business, or, I thought I was going to be dating, whatever it is, you thought you were going to be doing something and you're not, it's not happening. It's because it's preparing you for stuff. It's getting you to like clear and purge and get really clear on what you can't take with you into this. Like, it's preparing you for that love that you want. It's preparing you for those clients that you want. It's preparing you for that job that you want, for that new home or that new place you want to live. It's preparing you, but you have to get really clear on what it's showing you. Why are you being forced to sit still and be with yourself and observe your life and see what is and isn't working? Why, right? It wasn't until like I've been uncomfortable in this for like a couple of weeks, and it wasn't until last night I was like, well, duh, like the first thing I should be asking is, what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this experience? And I was just like, I almost felt kind of dumb, like, hello. But again, it's just our muggle, like, human brains, and we just sometimes don't get it immediately. We have to be uncomfortable. We have to be uncomfortable for a period of time to where we're not used to it being so uncomfortable this long to finally question it, So it's like if they jumped in and saved me and brought me what I wanted immediately, be that with like, give me a new client, or, I need money in this form, or I'm looking for someone to date, something like that. If they brought it to us immediately, we wouldn't appreciate it, or we wouldn't fully get why we were, like, I get it's more the value of it. We wouldn't necessarily value it, or we wouldn't actually do all of the full deep work of like, well, Okay, how am I acting and why am I not getting it? And maybe it doesn't have anything to do with you, but maybe it's just teaching you patience, or maybe it's just not time yet, and realizing that everything has a season and a reason, I guess. And that just sometimes is the lesson in itself. The moon. Whew. Again, so women are very, well, if you allow yourself to be in tune with the cycles of the moon phases, and that's how our menstruation cycle, or femstration as I like to call it, Cheeto, he's getting into some bags over there. That's how we used to be able to tell what cycle we're in, or what phase of our cycle we're in, and all of that, and track our period. Now we don't need that because we have like technology and basically birth control to control that stuff, but which I don't believe is necessarily healthy. But as women, and even as men, because men tap into feminine energy as well, and can also be affected by the moon, is like, it is almost like showing you like you're, like I said, season and a reason, where we're going through cycles, and we have to flow through the cycles and get through this full cycle before like whatever can happen. So, I talk a lot on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, Empowering Authenticity, I talk about the different phases of my cycle. I don't want that one. Okay, yes I do. And how it correlates to whether it's the season, the energy of the season, right? It doesn't have to be happening in that season. And then also the moon phase and what it's showing us and what the energy is there allowing us to release. So for me, I'm in my I'm coming out of my ovulation cycle, or phase, sorry. And so to me, it was pointing for me to look at, okay, like what can you do during this ovulation cycle? How can you take advantage, or what do you need to do during this cycle? And just allow it to naturally happen instead of trying to resist it and force against it. I still need to get reminded of that. And I think I do allow it, but I think there's a part of me that gets frustrated. And I think this happens with other people, and it doesn't have to necessarily be with menstrual cycle stuff, but just in general in our life, where we're like, but I did all these things. Why am I not getting the thing back? Right? Like, we so many people talk about like manifesting and like instant manifestations, and here you can, if you do this thing, you'll get this thing immediately. And we want like instant gratification and validation and confirmation, and it just doesn't always happen that way. Like sometimes, yes, it does. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but and then there are some times for some certain people it just doesn't happen that way. I'm really into human design, and that's been a huge part of my accepting of myself and learning more about myself. And I'm a projector, which is about 20% of the population. And it's just things don't come as easy to me, right? And I know that there's when I say not as easy as like, I need to take more breaks. I may have to move through things a little bit more slowly. I go really deep into things. So it takes me a little bit longer to actually get to the core of like what I need to do in order to actually create what I want. It just may take me a little bit longer. And then people who are like manifestors or I'm not sure about manifestors, manifesting generators and generators, they have like a lot of more energy at their disposal to utilize, whereas I don't. And what was I going to say? And then again, I think manifestors are actually a smaller part of the population, which I didn't realize, which is interesting to me. But because then you have like people who I think sometimes they don't realize they're teaching things, and because it worked for them, they're like, oh yeah, do this and it'll work for you. Like that's never resonated with me. And every time I try to attempt to do that, someone's like, do this. I'm like, it just doesn't work for me because I'm not meant to do that. Like I can master systems, but it's not like not everything. Like I'm not meant to master every system or somebody else's system. I'm also like, I think meant to create my own or figure out what my own is. Anyways, tangent. If you are interested in human design and finding out what your type is, I highly suggest it. But what was I saying? Anyway, so I think we resist what is, and we attempt to create or to do things based on what our mind or what everyone else is saying, like, or where everyone else is at too. We're comparing ourselves to other people, and we just can't do that anymore. And really just like check in with your own energy levels and where you're at in your life, and like what process is coming, like what's your process when it comes to healing and releasing and all of that. And going back to spiritual practices too, like, is very much about developing our own spiritual practice and realizing we're all on our own journey. And sometimes you may be doing similar things to other people, but it's never going to be the exact same. And understanding everything has a cycle and a phase and a season, and we have to allow ourselves to move through it and naturally happen. Like, I think there's this quote that, or I don't remember where I heard that, something like, and I don't remember who said it, if it's someone famous, but it's something about Mother Nature never being in a hurry. Like, everything gets accomplished and Mother Nature is never in a hurry, but things still happen, right? Flowers still grow, trees still grow. They go through their cycles, and it's kind of just like reminding us that we also need to move along with the seasons and the tides and the cycles of the moon and all of that. So big rant there. Ooh, the devil. This is Capricorn energy, but the devil is about addictions. I'm hearing lust. I don't know. I usually don't say that, but it is about lust. And any type of addiction that we feel bound to or we feel very attracted to that's not necessarily good for us. And the star. Interesting. And what's funny is that Capricorn is first before, like, if we're looking at the astrological phases and the order or the astrological signs and the order they're in, or zodiac signs, I should say. It goes Capricorn and then Aquarius. So I don't know if that's significant in terms of like a progression there. But I also get that this Aquarius energy is allowing us to heal these things that we feel bound to, these things we can't seem to let go of. Let me get some more. Ah! Ow. Hold on. I don't know if I want all these. No, I don't. Okay. Yeah, this is hopefully going to be a shorter reading because I don't have that much energy, and I've been Chariot's Cancer energy. The Chariot is about movement forward, advancement, accomplishment. And I always notice, these two, like in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's sphinxes, but it's like light and dark. It's like the yin and yang type energy of getting those two aspects of you to work together in order to move forward, right? Because she can't move forward on her chariot unless those two horses or sphinxes are in union, right? So that, I think, is significant. And then we have Cups, which is like Cancer. Cancer season is I think that's coming up next. I'm gonna sit with this mess. I'm getting a message. Hold on. There's something that could possibly have happened, or like intentions you're put out. Because remember I was talking about everything having a season and a reason, and like maybe you didn't see progress, or you haven't seen progress, but you're waiting for something to happen. Something could have happened, like I get Capricorn Aquarius seasons, like possibly like in between those two. So that's like why both are showing up. But I feel like it's like, or in between those two seasons, like whatever you were working on, or maybe you put intentions out there, or maybe a seed was planted. And then I get now that Cancer's showing up, because Cancer is coming up soon here. We're in Gemini season, and I'm pretty sure it's next, which is June 27th 2nd, which also happens to be when Mercury goes direct. It's kind of pointing to, yeah, because then what we have is the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Queen of Cups would be open, receptive, nurturing. But again, it's like Cancer, right? Because Cancer is a water sign. And then the Nine of Cups is about wishes being fulfilled. So, but again, I get this is more just you being open and receptive. And it's like, it is about giving and receiving, like not just being receptive, but it's like because you maybe mastered this, because it's a queen coming out, mastered the art of giving and receiving, being receptive, being in your feminine, open, flowy, watery energy. Now it's like, is in Cancer season is when it's your wishes are coming true. So, and I feel like it's pointing to the fact that it can give you some kind of reference point. Maybe it's like going back and looking at when you journaled, or when you did some kind of practice, spiritual ritual, and you wrote something down. Or yeah, I think maybe you were, okay, so yeah, look at maybe what you back. And so Cancer, Capricorn would be December to January, and Aquarius is January to February. So, and it's always like mid-month, like the 19th, 20th, and that kind of thing. So when they start and then when they end the seasons. And so something I'd say, like, go back and look at what you possibly wrote down, or intentions that you set, or what you were trying to manifest that hasn't come to fruition yet. And you can almost guarantee that what you wrote down or what you had wanted is going to show up in Cancer season. I feel like that's a clear message now, especially because we were talking about, again, the Aquarius card has come out twice, right? That was the astrological card that we started with, and then the star, which is Aquarius. And then I was talking about the written word when it comes to faith, and this would make a lot of sense with like something you wrote down. With this card, I was talking about faith and the written word and Jupiter and luck, right? Something you wrote down when you were doing a practice, because again, it's like paganism and all of that. When you're doing a spiritual practice is now coming true. I don't know what's happening here. And it might have to do with love, because we had the Two of Cups that came out, and we have the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups, which is all love energy. Okay. Because it's what cups represent water, which is our emotions. So that's exciting. At least it gives us some kind of, oh no, sorry, Queen of Wands. I just rolled over her. But we have the Sun and the Queen of Wands. It gives us some kind of reference to, at least, and this is what I was going to say. It allows you to see how much time it's giving you a clear idea. Okay, so when I am in my flow, I'm in alignment, and I'm manifesting. Okay, Cheeto. And I'm manifesting. It takes this amount of time for when I plant a seed for it to come to fruition. So maybe it's giving you an idea of, right, like how much time in the 3D world things may need to show up. And especially if it's something really big or something significant that you've been wanting, it's showing you that. The sun, I mean, the sun and the moon that came out, the sun, the moon, and the star all came out, which is really amazing. So to me, that means alignment, right? The stars, the moon, the sun, like all coming out. That's like magical alignment. But it's the happiest card in the deck. It's just about pure joy, bliss, happiness. And then we have the Queen of Wands, which is magnetic, fiery, passionate, creative energy. And I really feel like it's like you're gonna see how powerful you actually are, like in terms of seeing how the thing that you've been wanting, or you had been manifesting, or you planted the seed to manifest, how it actually shows up. You're gonna basically allow yourself to step into that feeling of power, like just seeing how powerful you actually are, basically. The Nine of Swords. I was actually going to say I was surprised that this card hadn't come out. Right now, I feel like there's a lot of worry, stress, worry. It's about sleepless nights. Again, could be the alignment energy happening, like I was just talking about in the beginning. And maybe it's just like, or this has what I'm noticing is that we have the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Swords that came out. So it's like, you're kind of worried that this isn't going to happen. So it's like, even if you're watching this, and no matter how much confirmation or assurance you're getting from whether it's your spirit guides or other people or just how you feel, there's still like, your mind is still kind of stressed and worried it's not going to actually happen. Or there's worry about you stepping into your full power and being fully happy. Page of Wands. And the Magician. Well, the Page of Wands, the Magician together, is like, it's manifesting, honestly. It's sitting with, what do I want to create? And the wands represent fire, so that's our creative energy. And then actually taking action to do it. Instead of sitting in this energy, I think that's also what you're transforming, and you're learning how to, okay, what feels better? This or this? Like, even if what I work on doesn't necessarily work out or pan out, at least I'm not sitting in that shitty, like, energy of feeling like I can't. The Fool and the Ace of Cups. This, I mean, literally, it would mean taking a leap of faith towards a new beginning in love. And the Ace of Cups is also like the self-love card to me. So it can mean new love showing up, like in terms of a person, or it could just be like how you feel about yourself and how you're loving yourself. We have a lot of major arcana too, a lot of awesome major arcana, minus the Devil. But I mean, the Devil it doesn't have to be a bad thing either. Like, everything has a shadow and a light, so. Queen of Swords. So we have 3 queens that have come out. This is about discernment. Cutting away things you don't need. But I really felt discernment. You're being more discerning about what to focus on, when to listen to your mind. Like, the thoughts sometimes we have, are trying to protect us and warn us of things, but it's about being discerning and, like, questioning. Like, the Queen of Swords would definitely be, and again, that's Aquarius energy. Swords is air, so that's Aquarius. It would be about questioning the thoughts that you're having, and, like, is that valid? Do I need to listen to that? Then we have another 5 that came out, the 5 of Pentacles. This is about, could be about money loss, but it's about feeling left out in the cold. As you level up and start to shift and become more in tune with your higher self and in alignment with your life, I guess your higher self and like what you're meant to do here, all of these things are going to come up in terms of, it's like collective stuff you're most likely healing, but also familial stuff when it comes to ancestral, generational things. So like not having a lot of money, like I said, or just like that feeling like a victim. This is like the victim card. And the reason I say that is because the 6 of Cups came out, which is about nostalgia, things from the past coming back, and it could be about happy childhood memories. But it's like, and the reason that I feel like it is a little bit contradictory saying this is a happy childhood memory card, because we're going to be used to the energy that we've experienced the most. So if we experienced a lot of this and a lot of the other 5 energies, 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, that's what's going to feel familiar to us, and that we're going to be used to allowing ourselves to go back into. And so that's where the discernment needs to come in. And as you make these shifts and these changes, and you have these brand new beginnings, and you're taking leaps of faith in directions you never thought you would, or you never thought you'd be in this position because of how you grew up as a child and all of that stuff, those energies of like, no, come back and be miserable, come back and feel like a victim, come back and this is more comfortable, this feels great, this feels better, right? It's scary in the unknown. And even though the unknown is like making you feel so much better, it's still that what's comfortable versus what's best for you is showing up, and you're going to have to make a choice. And the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork and collaboration. I feel like this is asking, I mean, again, it is about, you can be working with other people, but it's like asking for that support through your spirit team, through your guides, but also physical people, whoever you, like a spiritual community or whatever type of community you, a conscious community, I should say, where people are like-minded and you can talk to them about the things you're experiencing. You can go and get coaching or healing or therapy. The Eight of Pentacles, yeah. And just don't stop doing the work. I think that's the thing is, I also get you've done the work, so it's like, but don't stop. Like, continuously keep moving forward. Don't go backwards. Don't regress. And when you can feel yourself regressing and you're like, why am I here again? Or why am I acting this way? It's like, don't, yeah, like this is the energy, and this is Aries energy, but this is like embodying your Emperor, which is like, I'm in charge, kind of putting your foot down and not allowing yourself to fall back into those patterns. Like, feel it, heal it, move through it, but keep moving forward. Don't regress. Don't go back on all of the progress that you've made. I think I'm going to end it there. Oh, okay, that's a little bit too many. These are my Teal Swan. It's called the Frequency Tarot. I don't know why it's called tarot, because it's not tarot. But she designed all of these images, and they have a frequency, you know, they evoke a certain frequency. They're beautiful. Calming. 6. So fives, a lot of fives showed up, and this is a 6, and I feel like that's because 6s are about harmony, balance, love. So it's asking you to like allow yourself to move from the 5 energy into the 6 energy, because I think now the energy is supporting it. So yes, and we do have to go through the 5 energy at some points in our life, but we don't have to stay there. And I think some people, if you're used to chaos and conflict in your life, and like from your childhood, you're going to sometimes think that you always have to be in that energy, and that it's not okay to move on into this energy. So I'm going to read this, and sorry for the glare. If you've drawn this card upright, it is time to take a breath. You need to take a hiatus from the race of life and the stresses that come along with it. Care about yourself enough to do whatever it takes to let yourself experience a sense of inner and outer peace today. Ask yourself the following questions. What experience would soothe my soul? What would promote a sense of peace and a sense of calm within me? So as you are possibly experiencing this, you know, the waiting for the thing to come in, or the stillness, you know, it's just kind of reiterating what I had said in the beginning, which was we are waiting for something to change, and it's a little bit uncomfortable being in the stillness, and we're being asked to sit still and just like look at things. So how can you find that peace while you're also experiencing that uncomfortable shift? Then we have, this is my Wisdom of the Oracle deck. This is Message in a Bottle. It's a 15, which 1 + 5 is 6. And I will read that, but I wanted to get one more. So it is about a message possibly coming through. Clean it up. Clean it up is about, I believe, well, it's about taking ownership of like your side of the street, especially when it comes to possible something in relationship. Let me see what stands out. Communication, a sign. So this is about communication or a sign. It could be from pointing the way to your highest good. Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your eyes open, or your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this. Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. So yeah, it's asking you to, again, it's if you're wondering about, is everything going to be okay? Or is this thing going to show up? Or am I going to get this? Or is this going to happen? it's asking you to remain open. And that's also why you sit still and you don't, why you're being asked to kind of we're being forced to just observe and sit still and not take any action, is because that's when the messages come to you more easily. You can hear them. Okay. Getting to the core of a situation. This is the clean it up card. Freedom from a burden. Cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. Oops. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work, overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of place matters. Wait. Every item out of place natters away at you. Excuse me. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. That's perfect. So it's giving you a chance to get your affairs in order, basically, before love comes in, before whatever comes in that's going to take up your attention and that you're going to have to start taking action on. By the book, number 11. I'm pretty sure this is when, like, having to do things, let me see. Abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal laws. I feel it's more universal laws. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them, rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws and it will be easier to go by the book at this time. I mean, that kind of sums up everything I was talking about. Like, everything has a season and a reason, and we're kind of being forced to abide by this. Even if you don't understand it fully, you're not really sure which law it is, which rule you're having to follow. It's basically saying, like, you're just going to have to write it out, but don't miss the wisdom that's there for you in order to hear messages, get clarity, get guidance, and then clean up. And it's allowing you to, again, clean up your energetic space, your physical space, your emotional space, all of that. So if you'd like to work with me, you can go to my website and book a reading, empoweringauthenticity.com. If you have any questions, you can email me. And yeah, so happy to do these readings for you. I'll be finishing up the zodiac ones hopefully this week. I don't know, but we'll see how much energy I have. So I'm sending you love. Bye.